The Brandon Peters Show may contain explicit language and detailed plot points. For more information on the show, stay tuned to the end of the episode. And now, here he is, Brandon.
Welcome back to another wonderful week here on the Brandon Peters Show. This week, a bit different than your normal movie talk or movie adjacent talk. We're going to share with you the quarterly meetup for the INPodcasting and Podcasting Platforms group that I held on March 8th here in Indianapolis. As many of you know, maybe you don't, but I'm very involved in the podcasting community in Indianapolis and love just helping, learning, meeting other podcasters, networking, and stuff like that. I've been involved in that realm since like 2016. Various different groups. INPodcasting started last year, but I was in charge of this quarterly meetup, and the subject was social media and marketing for your podcast stuff. And my guest I brought on was Rana Mohammad from the Normies, who is the chief social media officer over there, and she crushed it. I'm just a chump asking questions and saying little things, but I wanted to share this because it was quite informative, very good, and some of you may want to know interesting things you can do with your podcast or social media, or if you're doing it right, or what could work best for you through things. She was quite good. Everybody's attuned, attentive. Thought it went very well. Wanted to share it. So thanks to her for sharing her time with all of us over there. Really appreciate it. And thanks to Chris Spangle, as always, for creating the INPodcasting group and housing these meetups. You'll see him probably introduce us in this video. So for those of you who are like missing the movie talk this week, I'm going to be on both the Box Office podcast and Out Now with Aaron and Abe talking Mickey 17. So you can head on over those by checking my social media outlets to know where to find them, right? Yeah. See, Tyler brought it all back there. But next week, we're going to get back into Tarkovsky's Tales with Ivan's Childhood and Stephen Warren Hill. So, yeah, plenty of stuff to go on there. But just a moment. Here's me and Rana and talking social media, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you get something from it. And as always, folks, stay phone positive. Welcome to the podcasting meetup. Sorry to interrupt your conversations, but we've reached the point where we always have, if you're new here, there's several new people. We have an hour or so just getting to know each other. The point of this is to build friendships, first and foremost, because podcasting inherently is about building community, right? Everybody does a podcast to talk about the thing they're nerdy about with their friends. And it's so great. I think my favorite part is seeing the same people every quarter come to these and getting to know you. And please invite your friends, invite your podcasting friends. So that's really the goal here. And we also like to give you a little training. Last quarter, we talked about consistency and how important that is with Kat and Moni of the Fake Ass Book Club. If you missed that conversation, all of the audio and video is up on the Podcasting and Platforms podcast. So you can grab the QR code there, and you can watch and listen to the past episodes. Thank you all for being here. And if you haven't had a chance, the Podcasting and Platforms studio is up there. It's $150 a month. This is the plug portion. So if you're a podcaster, you can rent it out for $150 a month. It's really built for you to do in-person podcasting with your friends. That's why we make it affordable. Looks great, and we've got several people that use it now. And so if you have questions about it, please let me know. So let's get started. Brandon Peters of the Brandon Peters Show is one of our ambassadors. So if you see people wearing a red tag, this group is full of people who are podcasters who care about the community, who promote this, and they're here to help you. So if you've got a podcast and you're wondering what to do with it, grab one of the folks with the red tag. But Brandon is an ambassador. He works for PopCon, and he manages their podcast division.
And I'm going to let him kind of plug your show. You'll plug your show better than I will plug my show, and then introduce our guest and tell us a little bit about what we're talking about today. So here's Brandon Peters.
Hello. In camera, right there. Hello, okay, so he was correct on everything he said so far. So my show is the Brandon Peters Show, which is a very entertainment movie-based podcast where I have a lot of like writers and stuff, like Scott Mendelson, formerly of Forbes, now Puck News, is a guest a lot, and it's usually a movie or topic, something like that, but my big thing is a series I do called The Summer Of. This summer will be 2015, which is a look back at the summer movie season from a given year and the pop culture that surrounds it. So it's not just discussing movies, it's discussing news items from the week, the top music songs on the radio at that time, and TV shows that were occurring that week and stuff. And it's a lot of good fun. People tend to love it. And it also includes, the end of the week includes a music video discussion of one of those top songs with a rotating wheel of guests, which last year included Chris Johnson of the Normies, which is one of her co-chords we'll get to. And then like Chris said, PopCon, I program, host, and run the live podcast stage, as well as the Podcast Awards, which you should go to popcon.us and sign up and put your show in for an award or do a live show on the stage. It's pretty awesome. You're in the actual vendor hall concourse and you get maybe an audience, maybe not, but your listeners later will never know. But it's a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun with that, and we've been having a waiting list the last couple PopCons because it's grown so much. That's all me. And then this year at PopCon, we just announced we were having the PopCon Creator Summit, which is a 2-day event happening before PopCon that is going to be focused on networking and learning from the best and working with the best in terms of YouTubers, authors, filmmakers, and podcasters. So popconsummit.com, take a look at that. There's an early bird special going on right now that's going to end, and then the price starts hiking up, of course, of that. But it's a 2-day event, and that does include, I believe, KJ, it's a weekend pass to PopCon is included with that. So PopCon could be 5 days for you if you want. But that's something that is just announced. But today, I thought something to talk about here would be social media, because it is a free tool for everybody to use to get word about your podcast out there, grow your audience, and things like that. It's also probably something we all just have to deal with every day. But to talk about that, I have from the Normies, which I'll let her talk about the Normies here, the Chief Social Media Officer, Rana Mohammad.
Hi everybody, it's nice to meet you guys. Thank you. I am Rana of the Normies. It was really nice talking to some of you already and getting to know you guys. The Normies is a group of friends who have been basically reacting to TV shows, movies, and doing video games since April of 2015. So we've been doing this for almost 10 years now. We built a beautiful community worldwide. We're almost to 900,000 followers now, and it's just a wonderful time to be doing this with my friends. So if you're a nerd who likes nerd culture, you like watching TV, you want to hear opinions of TV shows and opinions, come to us. We're the best nerd culture around. So that's what we do.
I've heard, because I was always confused about reaction videos, stuff like that. But then someone perfectly explained it to me, and they said during lockdown, pandemic stuff.
Oh yeah.
It felt like for people who lived alone or something, it felt like you had a friend in the room.
So not even just in COVID. Not even just in COVID. We started this in 2015, and people who went away to college or didn't have friends to talk about the nerd culture with, or just honestly didn't have any friends, unfortunately, at that time because they moved away or something, they came to us, and we would comment with them, we would engage with them, and we made actually a Discord where there's multiple channels in there where there's food, art, TV shows, whatever your interest is in, you can find somebody there to talk to you about it. And honestly, it's my favorite thing that we've done with it, because from the community, from Discord, and this is my favorite story, we have 2 people who met and got married from us almost 10 years ago. She was in London, she lived in London, Pakistani Muslim girl, beautiful girl. This guy, amazing guy in Australia, and all that. They met through our community and they fell in love. He converted for her, and then she moved to Australia, and we take pride in that. And we've been to a couple weddings as well from our community, so we just love engaging with them. We won't be here without them, so yeah.
Gotcha. So with the Normies, there's a big group of you, and you all have these positions. How did you become the social media officer? What led to that?
Well, it was just really funny when we would only meet up on Sundays when we would film content because we're just friends who would meet up on Sundays and watch TV. And slowly it became more than that. And slowly I realized people liked seeing our personalities. So I wanted to highlight that more whenever we were together. So I only had Snapchat at that time. There was really no Instagram, no TikTok, and nothing I really found interest in. So I grabbed Snapchat, I let people know on YouTube, hey, we're on Snapchat. And I would just film us in between filming things or at dinner or outside. And I got to highlight who we are via that. And that also helped us build more followers and loyalty towards us because we got to connect with people via Snapchat. From there, we downloaded Instagram, TikTok, and on those platforms, we again highlight our personalities more. Our main content is on YouTube, which is the reactions, the reviews, the gaming and all that. But social media is just so important to stay connected to your community, to make it seem like you're authentic and you're real and you're just like you.
What is your favorite of the social media platforms that you use?
It used to be Snapchat, but now it's Instagram. I absolutely love Instagram. We have a newsletter inbox on Instagram where we get to stay connected with our followers. The stories are so much fun. We get to do polls, questions, get to stay connected via that. I love Instagram too because of the reels. We get to film fun content, you know, goofy voices, who's most likely to do this, and etc. And that's fun because you want to have fun with your friends, because I am working with my friends, and even if you're doing this by yourself too, keep it relatable for your viewers too. So Instagram is just a fun way to post things, keep it fun, keep it light without feeling like it's work, unless that's your work. If TikTok or Instagram is your work, then it's a little bit different.
Gotcha. How many people use Instagram for their podcasts? Because that was one early on where I'm like, I'm a podcaster, what am I doing with the picture app? But then
It's helpful.
once I started, that one's so much fun and it utilizes so much. I feel like it's maybe undervalued for a podcaster to use Instagram. The one thing that stinks is when you're doing a regular post, there's no link. It doesn't hyperlink.
So with Instagram, you want to do call to action, essentially CTA. So when you're posting on your Instagram, as a podcaster, what I would love to do is, even with our reaction clips, our reaction clips are essentially a podcast or a discussion as well. From your podcast, set up that camera. It may be the same camera you use to film or just an extra camera where you can take clips from your podcast, clip it up, make it fun, and post it on your social media. That's content within content, essentially. From there, you can have your bio or link tree, and even your story. Hey, click to action, click this link. It'll take you to your podcast video, or it'll take you to wherever you want, and that will just build more loyalty towards you and more views for your podcast. So don't be afraid of social media. Always add that link. Give them direction where to go for that link. You know, link tree, in the bio, in my story. You'll find this link. Click it.
Gotcha. What's your least favorite of it?
Oh man, Facebook. Guys, I can't. I literally hate Facebook. I'm sorry. Facebook has become such. I don't trust anything on Facebook personally. That's me. And if I'm saying that, I'm in my mid-30s. I can only imagine what the younger generation is saying. Facebook has just lost its value. It's lost its pizzazz. People like short-form content, so Reels, TikTok videos, stuff like that. You're not going to go on Facebook unless you're going on there for Facebook Market at this point. So ditch Facebook. I would suggest really, if you are having trouble picking a platform, pick one that you know is going to be easy for you to post on, and you know you can build quality over quantity as there as well. You don't want to spread yourself all over and all that. You don't want to do that. So pick one you're confident you know you can focus on and build your community from there. And then from there you can maybe build other platforms where you put diverse content on each platform. Instagram, highlight your personality. TikTok, highlight behind the scenes, etc.
Gotcha. I've fallen out of Twitter. That's been the one that I get in the last couple of years. It's just nothing from it.
Yeah.
It used to be. There's some engagement, some highlight stuff, and then that's just I'm just posting something and I'm just not seeing.
And the thing is, with Twitter, it's something that you can post on your Instagram story if you want engagements,
Right.
and a poll and a question. Hey, what would you like to see? Twitter, we keep Twitter for our channel essentially for updates. The other day we got hacked. For example, our YouTube channel got hacked. We use Twitter to keep our audience informed who are not on our Discord. Twitter is also a good way just to, with your brand, if there is a trending topic, you can highlight it with your brand. That's a great way to get eyes on you because Twitter will push that out. Without hashtags as well. You don't really need hashtags on Twitter because the words will stand out to X, not Twitter now, and it will just push your, I mean, I hate it so much. It will just push your content out for you. So don't be afraid to use Twitter if you know your conversation is in the tweet realm and you'll know that subjects are coming up in that. It's a really good way to stay engaged with your audience if you're not really into the photo clicky stuff.
Gotcha. So this being your job, like how much time a day do you spend doing social media stuff with the normies?
Yeah, I wish I had more time because I am a full-time reactor on my channel, so I'm on 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, essentially. We do have lunch breaks. We do get breaks, don't worry. But essentially, I'm a partner as well, so as a partner, we do after-hour work too, just to make sure, it's maintained. I pick social media too because I like it. But for me, I use a lot of tools that help me stay posting and stuff. We don't overpost anymore, unfortunately. I know a lot of people say post 3 times a day on social media. Do that if you don't have a YouTube. Do that if that's where you need to promote your stuff. That's a good idea. For us, we post 4 to 7 times a week now on social media because our main focus is YouTube. That's where all our followers are, that's where our content is and all that. So with that, we use Instagram for highlighting stuff like that, and TikTok just for highlighting other little clips or our personalities. So 4 to 7 times a week for us, but I would suggest posting maybe 2 times a week if that's gonna be your platform. But make sure you're not just spamming people. Make sure it's like intentional when you're posting things. People don't want spam, like quality over quantity. So when people can expect like, hey, this person's gonna give me this kind of clip or content, I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait for that instead of just being spam content from your favorite creator. So be intentional with your posts.
Gotcha. And like, how do you know when you might be focusing too much time or including a social media platform and just move on? Are there any social media platforms you said Facebook?
Facebook, yeah, Facebook. If you're not having fun, if you feel like the platform feels like a job to you, don't do it. That should never be it, because social media is supposed to be light and fun and a good way to stay engaged with your community. If you're not feeling the vibe, if you're not feeling like committed to it, don't do it. Pick one platform and just focus on that platform. That's where you're going to build consistency and loyalty. I would honestly suggest that.
Gotcha. I have found personally with my thing, like through different social media platforms, you present your show a different way. Have you found that? And it's because of either the platform or the people that you tend to follow you on a certain platform?
Each platform is different, obviously. It's YouTube, they want longer format. They want to be in there for a half hour to an hour. They want to stay locked in. They want all that content. You have to remember with social media, it's short-term, quick. I want that satisfaction immediately. I want the point immediately kind of thing. So that's where we try to keep it separate. For us, we keep each platform separate no matter what in general. YouTube reactions, Instagram highlighting things, etc. So, yeah.
Gotcha. I got a question. Do you use LinkedIn for anything?
Yeah, actually, I do think LinkedIn is very important. If you're trying, so our CEO, we use actually his LinkedIn mainly now because he has the most connections on it. CEO, the normies, and that's the best way to get connected to other podcasters, companies, brands, sponsorships. If you wanted, I don't say use LinkedIn. It's good, but make sure you're keeping it alive and keeping it updated, for sure. Because if I use LinkedIn or our CFO uses LinkedIn right now, it's not really updated compared to our CEOs, and people aren't really messaging back. You have to be like a real person.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Also want to know, so is it worth it to pay to amplify a post at all?
Ooh.
And where would it be worth it, in your opinion?
I think with amplifying posts, you gotta be really careful with that because it is good for fast reaction, essentially, to get your content out there. But if you do it too much, you might be misleading your audience and you might be breaking your brand in a way. So when promoting things or doing that, just make sure it's that, you really want to push that post. Be intentional about this is a really important thing that I want to push out. Don't do it all the time to all your posts. Otherwise, again, it's going to look like you're just trying to make your money and you're going to look misleading in the community. So, yeah.
Gotcha. I had a question. Have you ever dabbled in, or do you think it's worth it to put cheap, clickbait stuff out there? Is it worth it?
So again, with this one, with clickbait, really think hard about it when you post it. Don't be misleading, because if you're posting misleading things and people click on that, they're going to be angry. They're going to see the content that you made them click kind of thing. It's fake. It's not really what they went into. So in posting clickbait content or a title, make sure it's actually, yeah, it can be like, hey, clickbaity, come to us, but make sure it's actually true to the thing. Let's say you're watching a cartoon and you go, oh my God, I can't believe Jim did this in this episode. That's okay. You're like, he did something, but what is it? So you're bringing the audience to you, you're making them want to click that, but make sure it's always true to the content, because if it's not, then you're again looking fake to everybody. People want real people, especially in this social media world that we live in, especially when there's AI now. People don't know it's real or not anymore. So again, be real about what you post.
Gotcha. And speaking of being real, do you think it's okay or right to be soapboxing using your show's account? And is there ever a situation where you need to?
See, with that, again, be intentional and don't be impulsive. Don't be impulsive when you see something that you're passionate about. I do think it's a good way to use your platform and your voice to push things like that when it is co-aligning with your brand, essentially. Again, don't be impulsive about it. Is it this good for your brand? Do people want to see this? It could align people with you, for sure, in your audience and your community, but it also can alienate people, too. So when you see something that's really passionate to you, make sure it's something that you know it's going to align with you and you can speak for it without just being impulsive, like, hey, this is going on right now, yes, this. Oh no, here's a new subject, post about this. So make sure it really does align with your brand, I would say, because that can be a iffy spot with your community, alienating or not.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And following off of that, sharing things from other places, how much is too much of that, or do you recommend that? Or if you're like, I like this, maybe my audience will. Is that,
yeah,
or should you keep it to your program?
I think 10 to 20% of that is okay, in my opinion, especially if you're promoting things, let's say just outside the iffy, gritty stuff. If you're just promoting brands you like, or people who work in the same realm as you, another podcaster or something like that, I think it's okay to post them and tag them, and maybe in that post, or a story, put in hey, did you see this? It doesn't remind you of something of ours. Make sure it's kind of relatable. So not only are they getting value, but you're also getting value out of that post. From that, I would definitely work on collaborations. Collaborations are such a good thing in the community. You get to take their audience, they get to meet your audience, and it's just better for all. So consider collaborations. They're the best.
I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
That's my thing, because one important thing to me that I always try to be, and I always hope other people, is be a good guest.
Yes.
When you're on another podcast, and social media, and for the mental health of the person you're guesting for, they'll post a thing, you should probably share it, and share it with enthusiasm.
Yes.
Or something like that that's more than just a repost.
No.
So many times, I've had people that, I've had people guest, then they don't share, or I listen to their program, they don't mention, did something go wrong? And it's no, they just aren't, a lot of times, with it. But I always, when I'm on a show, if I can't, let's say I have my show drops every Monday, and then whatever I'm guesting on drop Monday too, I will message them and be like, hey, I'm just going to do a simple stuff to this today, but I'm going to give you the time tomorrow to post, because I don't want to have my people going in too many different directions, but there's sometimes a miscommunication of when it drops. And I usually, like to write some things about what I liked about it, or I'll highlight it if I'm recording my show in a timely fashion that it was there, and mention stuff about it. Kat's a good guest. Yeah. I'll tell you that. She's someone I had on my show recently. Mention it, put it in a reel. She shared stuff. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you should do.
It's co-marketing with each other, and I think people miss that point sometimes. That's why I say collaborations are important, so you can both market to each other's audience, so you're both getting something out of that. And when you're tagging somebody, make it important to you too. So you should always be tagging each other, making a point to each other's posts, and just building each other up in the community. And people love seeing that too. People love seeing people build each other up. They'll be like, yeah, we made the right person famous. We're so lucky we're supporting this person. They feel like they're involved with you. They feel like supporting you is also supporting other people in ways they can't. So marketing each other is so important.
And you should feel when someone asks you to come on, you should feel they think I'm going to make their show better. They think I'm going to amplify their show, and you should be you should be grateful for that. Even if you don't feel like your guest spot went well, still share it, unless it's something, some heated exchange came and you're like, ugh, and they released it. But you should celebrate that, well, they want to be on their show. And my people, if they listen, can get a different side of me because I'm not running the gamut here.
It's a big deal when you collaborate. It's like you got to be on somebody else's podcast. They want to work with you. They want to speak with you. They want to showcase you to their audience. It's an honor, It's a good time to be collaborating with other people in your same realm too. Like they're doing this with you.
Gotcha. So it is 12:31, 12:32 to switch. I'm going to stop to see if, because we're over, but see if anyone has any questions for Rana or myself. This guy.
Yes, I have two questions. Because you're on YouTube.
I am.
And this is the question that I'm trying to figure out. Scheduling versus premiering.
Oh, wow. So we have a schedule person who does that. She's losing her mind consistently, I'll tell you that. Every day there's a new show popping up. There's a new movie that's dropping. Hey, this movie from the theaters is now on this. So we meet Monday through Friday, but we have a schedule. We know what we're watching. We watch at least 2 weeks before. So we have a backup of videos essentially for our editors. We have 5 editors. They do an amazing job. So they have content to keep editing 2 weeks out for our videos. So make sure you have a schedule. I would recommend using Airtable. Airtable is such a great app. It's a website. It helps you pre-schedule everything. It helps you see the times, the months, and all that. But you just have to look out 2 weeks ahead. Try to keep an eye out for news articles. Try to be in the Twitter realm and all that. Have people in the same community message you if they know something is dropping so you can prepare for that. It's just all keeping our eye out for that. And again, we're very lucky now that our community is so big. We're consistently having people DM us, hey, this is coming out in 2 weeks. Hey, this is happening. You guys should be watching this. You guys should be doing that. But stay on Twitter and just try to keep an eye out and definitely use some kind of calendar that helps you stay appointed. And you can add your links there. You can pre-plan all of it so you're not doing too much.
And the second question, you said on YouTube promoting. When you look at, like if you put out a podcast and you look at the analytics of that podcast, what factors are you looking for before you say we need to promote this?
So for our community, it again has to align with your brand kind of thing. So within our podcast, within our videos and all that, we will say something and we'll be like, okay, this is what we want to clip and this is what we want to promote. This is what we know our audience wants to hear because that's the kind of audience we built to our brand. So when we say something off the brand, sometimes we don't post it or clip it. As long as something like interesting, say a wild reaction moment, or you're asking somebody on your podcast and they give you this fun answer back, clip that, make that to a YouTube short and post it. YouTube shorts do really good. So I would suggest doing it that way.
So on YouTube, between shorts, videos, video premieres, live streaming, like what do you find, the podcast playlist now?
Yeah.
Like what kind of content do you find to be optimal? What are some good YouTube tips that you might have?
YouTube tips, I would say, make sure you have a consistent schedule. Make sure your audience know what's coming and when it's coming out. And make sure you're using your YouTube manager, content creator on your website really well. You can add ads in the middle. Make sure you're adding ads at a good cutoff point where you know like they're gonna come back to your podcast and listen to it more. They have to watch this ad because you left off on a good point before answering something. So like say, hey, what is the best place to do this? Whoop, commercial, oh no, I have to watch it. And then they'll come back to your podcast to listen to their question. So make sure you're utilizing the content creation part of your YouTube, the YouTube manager, to putting ads in there. Stay consistent, take clips from your long videos, making them into shorts. Personally, we YouTube live maybe once a month because we do our live streams on Twitch now. We are Monday through Friday live on Twitch for various things now. We try to keep our platforms different. But if you're using YouTube only, that is a great place to go live because it will just push your videos out too. Don't be afraid of using hashtags too. We add in all the tags. We do all that work. We make sure there's all monetize, guys. Monetize.
So, do you record ads within your podcast, or do you just use the ads that are available to you through YouTube?
So we use whatever's available. We get to actually pick what ads we want as well. So we use what's available. Sometimes when we have brands or sponsorships that work with us, we'll use that as our own kind of ad, but unfortunately it's not a real YouTube ad. It's more of our own ad. So you want to utilize the YouTube ads more because if you're adding in your own ad, that's technically not a YouTube ad, but your own ad. So it's not taking your audience away and making money off that commercial and then bringing you back to your video. So I would definitely use YouTube ads more. But if you have sponsorships and brands, like if they use your code and they'll get $5 off and you'll make money off that, that's also a good way to make your money as well. So whatever's gonna work more for you in that video, because whatever podcast you post, you know it's gonna get like, hey, this podcast is gonna get 100,000 views, I'm posting this ad on this. So be intentional about where the ad goes.
2 more questions.
Okay, so if I listen to your podcast, I'm gonna get a super hot Australian husband. Is that from the first part?
Wait, what Australian? Oh, the story. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was like, oh wait, yeah. That guy, I mean, I will say our Discord is huge. Come to our Discord. Come, the Normies Discord. There are so many amazing people on there. You come. I'm telling you, come to our Discord.
It didn't say whether the guy was attractive or not.
And we also have NormieCon, so we have people who come hang out with us, like PopCon, GenCon. We have our own NormieCon, so if you want to come meet some people, yeah. NormieCon. We're called the Normie, so we have our own NormieCon.
I thought you said Mormon con.
No. Nothing wrong with that either.
No, that's 2 to 3 today.
Yeah.
No, what do you think of Blue Sky?
The one that so there's Blue Sky where
I haven't heard of that.
some of the people that used to work for Twitter just created like old school
Oh,
Twitter.
when they left Twitter and all that.
Yeah.
I've heard some good things about that. Here's the thing, with any new social media, it's gonna take a lot of work to push people over, move people over. So use what you know people are gonna go to. Like Threads, are people really using Instagram Threads? Maybe, but I don't see it. Like, you know, you're shaking your head. So I know they're not. Facebook, nobody's using it. All these new apps, yeah, in theory, they're great. I would love to move away, but realistically, people have already been following people so long on certain platforms that they're not moving, they're not leaving, and then those platforms will push your content up because they're relatable. So I know it's really, you want to move away, you want to get away from all that stuff, but it's just so hard when you know you're going to get the views.
Blue Sky is a lot more peaceful, but
Yeah.
my thing with Blue Sky, and I posted Blue Sky, is like, until you guys rip off that Band-Aid, this is going nowhere.
It never will.
Yeah.
I feel so bad saying that too.
Yeah. They did have some growth, but then
You saw how fast Threads fell off, so.
Yeah. Okay, 1 more question?
Oh, perfect.
No? All right. Well,
Are you audio at all? I didn't hear you say that. Are you audio? Are you on?
I'm sorry, what?
are you doing audio-only things?
Oh no, we're on camera.
Okay.
Like all our content is camera. We do.
No, are you on RSS feed? Are you on Apple Podcasts or so?
We have Spotify. We have one Spotify where we take only on Spotify we do right now. We take our discussions so after filming our reactions and all, we'll take some of our discussions and post it for people to listen to.
Can you talk more about the Discord process and how you
Yeah, it's a free app. It's a free community. It's a website. It's amazing. I love Discord. Just go ahead and make your own Discord and share it with your brand or your podcast or your followers. Like, hey, come and be engaging in our community, and that's where you can post your updates. You can make different channels. You can have hey, here's a cooking channel, post the food you make. We have so many chefs in our community now. Art channel, or your environmental person, I know you said. You can add in hey, here's our free events coming to somewhere near you. Useful links. Here's some followers and influencers I think you should be following that help influence you to be a better environmentalist. I can't talk. So I would use Discord in that way for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all we have for today. Thank you for listening. Sorry to Garrett Bertingo, we cut for time. But we'll get back to Chris.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. The Brandon Peters Show is a Creative Zombie Studios production. Produced by Brad Shoemaker and Brandon Peters. Written and edited by Brandon Peters. Announcer vocals by Jessica Alsman. Theme song by Metavari. Web design and show art by Brad Shoemaker with Brandon Peters. All music and clips featured in the episode are property of their respective studios, and no infringement is intended. Additional information on this and other episodes at BrandonPetersShow.com. For any inquiries, press opportunities, or sponsorship, contact mail at BrandonPetersShow.com. The show is available on Apple Music, Spotify, or anywhere podcasts are found.